So this is a little bit a background about me. My name is Denali. I'm fondly called by most of my friends as Dee, and Mummy Dee to many of the children who are friends of my children. So when I put out branding suggestions to friends and families and colleagues, and I had various names in mind, each time it came back with Mama Dee. So clearly that has stuck with me, that reputation is there, and I'm happy to continue with that naming. I was born and bred in the United Kingdom, and I've been living in Sri Lanka approximately now for about, I think, just over 7 years. And the reason I'm giving you some of this background is you'll appreciate how this product has come to be, given my background as well. So I moved here just over 7 years ago. My husband works here, hence why it just seemed like the most practical procession for us. My daughters followed. So I have 2 daughters, as I've mentioned here. Shana, who's 29 years old, finished her studies and came to join us. And Tamaya at the time was much younger, so she had no choice. She came and joined us and did her O-levels and A-levels here. I was born with congenital heart disease, which is very common in Sri Lanka. 3,000 children are born every year with the same disease. It had a significant impact on my health and well-being. And later, many, many years later, I am now 4th generation diabetes, as my father, my grandfather, many people before me have had it. So that said, I've been pescatarian since the age of 11. Pescatarian is somebody who doesn't eat meat, but eats fish and seafood. At the time when I was 11, I had major open heart surgery. So in the UK, I was treated for my congenital heart disease by artificial valves being put into me. And as I came out of it, my parents had already made a vow to give up meat for my recovery and wellness, and to this date they still don't eat meat, and it just seemed natural and right for me to do the same, to respect them but to respect myself as well. So throughout the years, I'm 52 now, I have eaten meat on and off, and predominantly it's been for the need of when I was pregnant or carrying my children. So, but more often than not, I've been pescatarian. For those of you who are not familiar, I am the co-owner and director of Cafe Kumbuk Private Limited, a cafe that's been in operation for, well, touching 7 years now in Sri Lanka. It started on Horton Place at the Prana Lounge. My business partner is my daughter, Shana, my eldest daughter. And the aim there was, when we started, we knew there was a gap in the market. We knew that there wasn't good quality food to be had and to be purchased, and the type of food that we were used to. So that's how that project came about as well. I'm often known as a home chef, a baker, a recipe creator. I do various types of designs and cuisine recipes. I get approached an awful lot for no refined sugar or low-fat alternatives, and even gluten-free and vegan now. I don't advertise, but I think people know that if I live by my own recipes, then they know that obviously that they can trust in the recipe themselves. I am an active and engaged Rotarian, currently chairing the heart surgeries for underprivileged children in Sri Lanka, which is a really big passion of mine. So all of these elements here have gone into the foundation and production of Mama Dee's Artisan Vegan range. The fact that I have been looking at products here in the market for my own needs, for my own health. Sri Lanka is blessed with amazing fruit and vegetable, but unless you're creative and you're experienced enough with cooking, then it's not always so easy to make your own hot dog vegan style, or to make a vegan pizza, to create a vegan lasagna. So for me, I soon realized that there were many people out there, and my friends and children of my friends, who kept saying to me, Auntie Dee, will you do something for us so we can buy from you? And that's really how Mama Dee was born. So my aim here is not to convert each and every one of you into veganism. I myself am not, but I'd like to think of myself as 70%. It is about small changes. So this is vegan for beginners, okay? It is very much about protecting our planet. We don't realize how much damage we are doing to the planet through eating meat, through processing products. So as I said, I'm not going to stand on a soapbox and dictate to people and say, stop eating this and stop eating that and don't do this and don't do that. I'm reaching out to each and everyone's mindfulness, to your own intelligence, to figure out what's good and bad. And if we can just come together and make small changes, that's when we'll really have a significant impact. It is about compassionate food choices. You know, whether you go for farmed fish or ocean fish, you know, the alternatives to meat, what is out there, what's available, that makes a big difference. I always say to people, and to my children especially, is nourish to flourish. And that means that every element of food we put in our bodies goes to create our own wellness and health, whether that's mind or body. Everything is, you know, connected. So it's really important that we consider what we're actually eating and putting into our bodies. As I said, small changes will in fact equal significant impact. We can do it. It's just swapping. What I've said to many of my friends is who've said to me, gosh, how do I do this? I just can't go, you know, vegan overnight. And I always say to them, no one's expecting you to do that. Maybe go vegetarian 2 days a week. Maybe have 1 day of the week dedicated to trying to be vegan. And in doing so, you can prepare yourself throughout the week for that 1 day. And you can see a significant change then on how you manage your day, how your body's reacting to certain products. And it really is important that you do it in small changes, because what I have found from my own experience is that some items such as oat milk, for instance, doesn't agree with me. So it's up to you to find what works for you, but take it in small chunks. Natural products, I've put that as a reminder to me, because Mama D's Artisan Vegan range is made from everything at source. Everything is natural, found here in Sri Lanka. Nothing is imported. And actually, most of it is ready, replicable as well in your own home if you had recipes to do so. So it's really important that, you know, we try and use everything that's around us, the fruit and vegetables. We're truly blessed here in Sri Lanka, but not many people really know the value of some of those fruit and vegetables. And I'm not talking about monetary value, I'm talking about medicinal value, natural goodness. So I think it's about time that we start spreading that awareness and exploring that. Overall, vegan is obviously great for your health and wellness. My journey of being pescatarian from the age of 11 has meant that I've been able to keep my weight controlled, which is really important because I have heart disease as well as diabetes. I've had more surgeries than many of you have had hot dinners. So for me, it's knowing what's going into my body is helping to repair and to sustain the body as I grow older as well. So I thought I'd share with you some pictures of my products. So the first picture here that I'm talking about is where you've got the 3 items, which is the vegan meatballs. We've got a vegan vegetable patty, and we have the vegan sausages. The middle one is also a picture of sausages just done differently. So the sausages are come in 3 varieties. I'll show you pictures of that shortly. So there's apple and sage, there's smoked paprika, and there's the Lankan spice, which is kochi. And it doesn't blow the top of your roof off. It's very mild and subtle, but has a nice kick to it. Everything is chickpea based. There is no processed soya. One of the things I wanted to make sure was that we didn't have that element in there at all, because many people don't appreciate soya, and it's processed here in most cases. So everything is made with natural ingredients such as onions, spices, herbs, garlic. We've got tomato paste in there. We've got spinach and some elements of some of those. We've even got pulses such as kidney beans or the local white beans that you get here. So everything is taken in its natural source or natural form and made into these products. There is no artificial casing on the sausages. I must stress that because, again, I just didn't want to put anything artificial, even if it was made out of cassava. It doesn't really matter. For me, what was important was the consistency of being able to source these ingredients time and time again. So it was important that we did it in the very simplistic form. So the sausages are all steam molded, which means they're actually cooked when they come to you in frozen packs. And then all you need to do is pop them onto a hot pan and cook them to color. They are fragile compared to those of meat products, but I think that's worth it in the end. The burger patties come in two varieties. You've got the vegetable burger, which has lenticchie, which is lentils and beans, and lots of spices and herbs naturally spiced. Or we've got what I call the tempeh patty. And tempeh is made by fermenting soya bean. It's not processed. It's very good for gut health, but it has a slightly different taste. And some people love it and some people hate it. But it's all seasoned and put together. The meatballs also come cooked, pre-cooked in bags of 10. And what we recommend is that when you get them at home, you just simply snip the packet open and you can either refry them or deep fry them or even oven bake them, because again, they have that element of fragileness as well. The last picture I'm sharing with you on this slide is a traditional pol roti and lentil curry. So one of the things I get asked quite a lot to do, and I love to do, is to do cookery workshops for either local audiences or international audience. This one was done for Wild Terrains, which is a women's only travel group internationally. And they wanted to learn about Sri Lankan cookery, but keep a vegan element to it. So those two dishes, the pol roti and the lentil that you see there today, was done in vegan style for an audience. So these are some of the packages that you may have seen or likely to see with our vendors. These are the three, as I said: smoked paprika, apple and sage, and Lankan spice and kochi. I worked with a local agency here, Ashraf Associates, to do my branding. It was important to me that I kept it vibrant, colourful. I'm sorry I haven't shared with you a reverse picture here. The reverse has the nutritional information on the back, and what you can do with these, obviously. I've had so many amazing feedback from my customers, friends and family as well, who said what they're doing with some of these products. Some are chopping them up and putting them on pizzas. Others are putting them into stews. I recently had somebody who sent me a picture of a taco that they've made out of the sausages. So it really is very versatile. It's extremely low in oil. It really is a simple teaspoon worth, which is across probably 6 to 8 packets worth. So it's very low in fat. It's very low in salt because it uses natural herbs and flavorings rather than salt. So it is extremely good for you. The far picture that I've put there, which shows you my latest creation, is vegan minced meat. So I'm very excited about this one. I'm just trying to perfect it to make sure it travels and stores well. I enjoyed spaghetti bolognese last weekend with it, and this will be available shortly as well. I'm not going down the path of supermarkets, because I am a small startup and I need to make sure that the cash flow is available to continue to be sustainable for the future as well. So it's one of the considerations I had to make, was to keep it small, and small is big for me. The availability of my products so far: obviously you can dine in at Cafe Kumbuk and you can enjoy the sausages as part of the vegan big breakfast. You can actually at Cafe Kumbuk buy the vegan meatballs, the patties and the minced. I think I even tried a katsu burger as well. Those products are there. They're unbranded, but they're all vacuum sealed and frozen for anybody who wishes to make inquiries. So I haven't rolled some of those products out to the other vendors as yet, because branding takes time, and I want to make sure that it's perfect in my eyes at least. So I supply now to the Good Market, Drop Off LK, which is an e-commerce site, Park Street Gourmet here in Colombo. I believe that they're sharing them with Negumbo, and their Gaul branch opens on the 9th, so they'll be stocking them there as well. Gusta LK, great e-commerce site as well, and I believe it's once a week or once a fortnight they supply down south as well. So and that's been really well received. Home Bargains, again in Colombo, are going through, stocks. Excuse me. And added to that list is Providor.lk. So every day there is a new vendor coming on board. Excuse me. And it's really interesting because I am getting more and more outreach. Even today I had a phone call from somebody in Aragon Bay who's visiting Colombo and is starting a cafe and would like to actually feature the vegan products on their menu as well. So that can be done, providing, the minimum order quantities and wholesale prices are maintained. So whoever I partner with, it's really important that my reputation goes with that partnership. It is a collaboration, and I want to make sure that my products are stored and represented well, because Mama D's, as well as Cafe Kumba, which I'm a part of, has a reputation in the market. And for me, that's really, really important. The package of sausages are currently retailing at 1,175 for a pack of 6. That's all 3 varieties. And some may say, well, okay, that seems a bit pricey. But I've done my homework. I benchmarked it. I went out to the supermarkets and I had a look at what was on offer. And at most, it's mushroom sausages, which actually are similarly priced. And at the end of the day, the taste and flavor I felt was far greater in the Mama D product. So, and obviously not forgetting that these products are handmade by me. So many people are like, my goodness, how do you keep up with it? Well, it is a passion project. It is something that is going to grow, obviously, extensively, so I may not be able to do that forever and ever. But whilst it starts up, I need to make sure the quality and consistency is there. So it is made by me in a commercial kitchen, and it's overseen. But I've now got a pattern and routine going, and I pretty much know which vendors are ordering on which days. So that works for me in that sense. I was asked the question on sustainability, on how, sustainable is the product. Well, I believe it's very sustainable. I mean, packaging is an element that I had to be careful about, and I couldn't avoid the plastic wrap within the sausages because it was the only way to keep the sausages at its ultimate freshness. So I have tried to minimize that as much as possible. But with regards to sourcing of the ingredients and preparation, it's all locally done and very simply made. So, it is sustainable both for me and for my customers because it has a long shelf life in the freezer, which means that, you're not having to use it within just a couple of days. You can keep it up to 3 months for each product. So ultimately, that's a bit about me and my product. I love this saying, and I'm not sure where it's come from. I think it's an Ayurvedic quote. It says, when our diet is wrong, medicine is of no use. And when our diet is correct, medicine is of no need. And I think that says it all, really. And I think if I can help people, which I know I am because I'm getting the feedback from my customers who have many medical issues, that's why they've chosen to go vegan. COVID is presenting its own challenges as well today. And my strong advice to you is, enjoy your life, be healthy, be well, but let's try and consider what we're putting into our bodies. And just to really make the most of it. And as I said, if you can make a small change, go vegan once a week rather. Thank you.
Good day, everybody. So I'm going to talk about my company. and our products, mainly the chocolate. So Winuin is the company, and it is a family-based company. Winuin actually produces dark chocolate and other value-added food products from locally sourced natural ingredients to create rural livelihood opportunities in Sri Lanka and to contribute to country's economic development. So actually, the Winuin has developed a range of dark chocolates infused with and filled with locally grown or locally available ingredients like ginger, coconut, and other tropical fruits. And the most important thing is the cocoa and cocoa is same, is sourced from home gardens in areas around the Kandy like Kotmale, Gampola, Gelioya, and Galagada. So these ingredients are purchased directly from local farmers or vendors. So actually that also will help to improve their livelihood. So the Winuin company comprised of 3 directors. The first person is myself, Anur Jayasuriya, and my wife, Varuni Kanchana Perera, and my daughter, Vindu Jayasuriya. Okay, so one of the major characteristics of Winuin chocolates is that I have introduced the bean to bar concept into the local chocolate industry. So therefore, Winuin can be considered as a green product because so this bean to bar exclusively using locally grown cocoa. We don't import any cocoa ingredient. For example, cocoa mass and cocoa butter all are locally produced by myself from the cocoa collected from local farmers. And also the Winuin chocolates uses naturally extracted cocoa butter. As I said earlier, cocoa butter is naturally extracted, no chemical extraction, right? And also we make ourselves. So we don't import cocoa butter for these products. And also the other important fact is that the Winuin chocolates are made with minimum ingredients. We don't add many chemicals to improve the taste or the keeping quality. That means no chemical preservatives, no flavor enhancers, so colorants are used. Colorants, actually, this should be colorants added, okay? And the other important thing is we don't do any alkalization of the cocoa. Usually it is being done in other cocoa industries all over the world to remove the bitter taste or reduce the bitter taste, but we don't do that. So thus the natural health promoting cocoa flavonoids or flavonols are not destroyed. So because we don't do alkalization. So the technology that we use here is basically originated from 2 countries. One is Trinidad, the other one is France. Actually, I had the opportunity to undergo some very special training on chocolate making at Trinidad, because in that case, I had the opportunity to get some skills and experience from a master chocolatier from France as well. So we actually developed a number of chocolate products. Especially we make dark chocolates. And so this is a continuous process. Actually, we do innovations of novel cocoa processing, formulation, and chocolate making technologies through continuous R&D endeavors. And also we have some patents for some formulae in terms of chocolate making. So we actually have some intellectual rights for some chocolates, especially from some healthy chocolate formulae. And if you talk about the sourcing of raw materials, in fact, if you look at this picture, you can see the cocoa was first introduced by British rulers, I guess, from Central America, especially from Trinidad to Sri Lanka long ago. And in Sri Lanka, cocoa is grown in number of home gardens around the Kandy and other districts as well. But I usually collect cocoa from home gardens around the Kandy. So therefore, these cocoa can be considered as organic because the people actually don't use fertilizer or other chemicals or whatever the toxic materials for this plantation. This is just naturally grown in their home gardens because this is not actually considered as a very important crop at the moment in Sri Lanka, but there is a huge potential in future. But that is why I'm aiming to improve this industry in future in Sri Lanka. This is actually a green industry. So if you look at this, I will show you some of the areas that we collect cocoa, especially in the central province. And we can see even some vendors sell fresh cocoa in Kotmale area. I usually go and collect those cocoa as well, and cocoa nibs as well. I use nibs for the extraction of cocoa butter. So, and in the case of product development, we have developed a number of products, especially the bars and also the truffles or pralines or the filled chocolates. So I will show you some of the examples here. For example, in this slide, you can see two special chocolate bars that we developed. One is the coconut infused dark chocolate. The other one is ginger infused dark chocolate, ginger infused dark chocolate, and the chocolate infused dark chocolate. Ginger infused dark chocolate, we name it as ginger bar, and the coconut infused dark chocolate, we named it as cocolates. So both of these chocolates are basically considered as dark chocolates. We have used very limited ingredients in making these chocolate, and we haven't added any preservatives or the colorants or whatever for the production of these chocolate bars. And this is also according to the bean to bar concept. That means we do these chocolate making from scratch. That means from the nibs. We don't use any cocoa syrup, imported cocoa syrup or imported cocoa bean, so cocoa butter for this chocolate making process. And the other thing is, as I said, we make a number of filled chocolates, and we make the caramel at home, homemade caramel. And also we make tropical fruit-filled chocolates. And also these chocolates can be considered as dark chocolate, because crust is basically made of dark chocolate. In the middle, we get the filled content as maybe caramel or tropical fruit. Tropical fruit also we source from organic farmers. So this is the packing here. So we try to use what you call recyclable packing. We don't use plastic packing. So we have limited the use in plastic packing materials for chocolate wrapping and all, right? So, and in the case of sales, anybody can buy our chocolate, because we have actually linked with some of the key organizations for selling our chocolate. One is actually Winniving Products itself can send chocolates to different modes, like what you call, if somebody is asking chocolates through FB messages, because I have done previously, right? So we send them through some courier services like Prompt or whatever the local courier service. For local people, we can send through these courier services, and we have to give, they have to send us a message or the request through email or FB or whatever the source, or phone or WhatsApp. So then we get the message and we can send any amount that they need if they inform us in advance. The other thing is, I have linked with Good Market. The Good Market, actually at the moment I am selling the ginger bar mainly. So I'm going to introduce other varieties as well very soon. So you can buy the chocolates through Ginger Bar. Sorry, Good Market. The Good Market, they have online retail system as well. And Good Market is an organic farming entity. So therefore, you can. It is actually selling, or it is providing very reliable products. So you can directly purchase from the Good Market by online system, or you can visit the Good Market in Colombo 7 near the race course, or at the Reed Avenue. And the other thing is, recently I linked with Comtra. Comtra is also online trading network. So I have already advertised that. So in the Comtra, I have advertised ginger chocolates and coconut infused chocolates. So ginger chocolate is basically sold in Good Market because ginger is, I'm using organic ginger and a little bit expensive. For example, 50-gram bar, it is around 400 rupees maximum retail price. In the case of other coconut infused chocolates are relatively not expensive, like for 50 grams I sell for around 200 rupees, and 90 grams I sell for around 400 rupees. So this is actually a sustainable industry, because a lot of people grow cocoa in Sri Lanka, especially rural people. So I can get any amount of cocoa from the farmers around Kandy at the moment, and I have the technology, and because I use state-of-the-art technology for making chocolate, because chocolate making is basically very scientific process. So I'm going to improve this industry in future, because it will be beneficial for everybody in Sri Lanka, especially the economy, and as well as the rural people, to improve their economic status. So thank you very much.
With the threat to food security on the rise, it became apparent that climate resilient and resource efficient food production systems are becoming a necessity. This is what inspired us at Honest Greens to build Sri Lanka's first indoor vertical farm. The way we grow enables us to produce some of the most nutritious leafy greens around, without the use of harmful pesticides. Our plants are grown inside a climate-controlled grow room under artificial lights. This enables us to produce crops during times of flood and drought. At our farm, we use a precision hydroponic system. This enables us to grow with 95% less water than a traditional outdoor farm. By completely internalizing our value chain and cutting out the middlemen, we are able to go from our farm to the shelf within 24 hours. We use modified atmospheric packaging to maintain freshness throughout the process.
The way their products are packaged makes a big difference, because it's really fresh and it stays a lot longer.
We buy Honest Green products because I personally like the freshness of the product. I like the way it comes individually packaged. It's a live lettuce because it comes with the root, and I really like that. There are definite differences in vertical farming. We find the leaves are much crisper. Certain flavors are a bit milder, which is nice, but certain are also more accentuated.
Our products include different types of lettuce, kale, rocket, and specialty greens like Swiss chard and microgreens. Vertical farms are becoming more and more popular and are going to become a necessity going forward.
So as you guys saw in the video, that we grow in a very completely different manner to how agriculture is standardly done in Sri Lanka. We grow in something called the plant factory or indoor vertical farm, where we grow produce inside a cold room that is completely insulated from the outside environment. So none of the external environmental factors such as pests, dirty air, microorganisms contaminate our grow room. An analogy would be to grow produce in your fridge. You don't find any sort of pests inside your fridge. Likewise, we don't have any problems like that as well. So in our climate control grow room, we grow the plants using artificial light instead of sunlight, and we have complete control of the environment there, from the lighting to the temperature to the humidity to the carbon dioxide levels, oxygen levels, nutrients that are fed to the plant, the water temperature. Every single element is controlled. I would say we are close to being gods in our grow room right now, controlling every single environmental factor we can. Therefore, we are capable of growing plants in a very sterile manner and also giving them the most optimal conditions to grow from the time they're seeded to the time they're harvested. So the plants don't experience any sort of stress conditions, thereby maintaining a very flavorful position and a longer shelf life at the end of the harvest period. Our farm is situated in Dankotua, which is not too far away from Colombo. So we have very frequent deliveries coming in to Colombo on every day of the week. We have about a 10,000 square foot facility where we grow our produce right now. We grow several varieties of leafy greens. We have quite a few varieties of lettuce. Some of our hottest sellers to the HoReCa industry is frilly iceberg, because in comparison to traditional iceberg, where you get a lot of wastage when you cut and chop the vegetables open, there's zero wastage with our products. Red oak leaf lettuce is also another hot seller along with romaine. We also grow specialty herbs such as basil, rocket, and kale. And we are launching new varieties such as pak choy soon, spinach, and coriander. So we have a wide variety of leaves that you could select from. We already supply very key members in the HoReCa sector right now and have been supplying for about 2 years to quite a few of them. Key people are like Superfood, Bold, Heritons, Rocco's, to name a few, and there's many more whom we supply. So the key differences between the way we grow and the unique proposition that we offer our customers is namely premium quality and the fact that we are completely pesticide free. We have, as you can see on the picture on the right, this was actually taken pre-COVID. So our employees are all fully geared up. They wear gloves, face mask, and completely covering gear, allowing us to maintain a very sterile environment in the room. So we also, since we've been catering to the HoReCa industry for about 2 years right now, we've identified very key benefits that we offer people in this sector. Traditionally, when you buy your leafy vegetables, the prices tend to fluctuate a lot due to the weather patterns changing, whether it's either raining too much or not raining enough, and then there's not enough supply, and there's a very large price fluctuation. Whereas we offer fixed prices throughout the year. So when the weather changes, it does not affect us at all. And we're able to consistently supply quality produce with a fixed price throughout the year. And we maintain a very sterile environment and are able to give a much longer shelf life to the produce that you do buy. So if you guys have any further questions, please feel free to email me or hit me up on my mobile. The details will be shown to you afterwards. Thank you.
So the product is called Horiba. Horiba is manufactured in Japan. As a matter of fact, Horiba, Dr. Maso Horiba pioneers in this industry, who launched Asia's first pH meter of course, in Kyoto and Japan, and he has been right through introducing world's firsts in resolution pH meters sensors, and all sorts of analytical instruments to the market. As you may see, from the 1950 model going to 2013, the research and development which has gone into the development of this amazing product. So let me take you through the product lineup. Horiba has a vast array of products for measurements of from water to acids to oil to, I guess, the entire spectrum of liquids, etc. So today we are going to talk only about just a small segment of the product array. And let me introduce you the first product, which is called a pocket meter. It's called a Laqua Twin pH pocket meter. As many of you might know, pH is measured in water, in cosmetics, in food and beverage industry, in many industries, even in agriculture, coconut coir, you know, everything, you know, basically. So you can measure solids, you can measure soil, you can measure, you can test, you can test soil, solids, etc. with this product. And if I'm to go to the next slide, we also have slightly a high end, much more developed a handheld meter. Of course, it comes as a kit. Uh, um, Let me go back to that. It comes as a kit uh, with a carrying case and sets of probes for different of measurements and analysis. And it can be connected to a PC, and you can even um, generate all sorts of reports, which is extremely important if you um, um, uh, tracking and measuring certain types of food, beverage, etc. And where you will, if you are storing this information, this is an ideal product to have. Um, so that's okay. We are going back to the pocket meters. You can see it. It is color coded, which where you can test different uh, different products, such as with the green one, you can test salt in. Let me tell you. Say, for instance, if you want to test salt in, just a moment. Okay, say if you want to measure salt content in chili sauce, you know, which is widely used everywhere, this would be an ideal product. And yeah, you see, you have the blue one, which you check pH, the pH levels in water, where you can even check your water quality check in beer brewing. If you have in-house beer on tap brewed, this would be a fantastic equipment to check the pH. You can also check calcium in milk beverages. You can check sodium values in canned food. You can check sodium and salt content in different food samples, pH measurements of pickles, fruits, vegetables, etc. pH measurement in sushi for Japanese restaurants, and so on. So these types of meters are has a vast area of users. So once we send you the literature, you would be able to understand it better, and specifically the persons who are measuring and using these equipment even now would have a fair idea of what its users are. So just to go about the design of the handheld pocket meter, you see there is a sensor card, there's a LCD with a backlight. All these sensors are replaceable. Um, as you can see very clearly shown how the sensor guard is. So you can drop your uh, liquid into it. You can scoop out, say, food stuff into it. You can, as you see, you can immerse it in a sample, take a scoop, and so on. So we are here talking about paper, textiles, films, powders, solid samples, so on. But since we are talking about F&B, it's mostly drop samples, immersing, and scoops of samples that you would be doing with these unique measurements. And these two do the same job, but of course it also can measure dissolved oxygens, conductivity, resistivity, salinity, etc. So these are much more, the usage, the users are more. And uh, if I may dwell on this a bit more. As you see, it's versatile channels and adaptive displays. For you connect a pH electrode, or you can connect a EC electrode or connect a DO electrode for those different measurements and values. Again, there is a LED light on a sensor head as reading a stability indicator. Um, the blue light on the sensor head flashes and the reading is stable, and you can generate reports, very good reports, very accurate measurement reports of what you are going to test here. You can also transfer data via USB or via a Wi-Fi connection, and um, you can see here we have up to 55 possible sensor combinations for different testing methods. So this particular product is not only just for the F&B industry, it's for a vast area of industries, from agriculture to farming to the whole array, industrial manufacturing, liquids, chemicals, the whole works. This is my very short presentation on the handheld meters, and I'd like to thank Zureli for giving us this opportunity again to present a product to all of you. And please contact us on email or on phone uh, through the Zureli web. I think they will be sharing all our information to you. And if you do have any specific questions, please mail me. And we work very closely with our Singaporean partners, and we can always, whatever we do not really understand, we can always get help from them, or we can reach out to Japan to serve you better, more effectively, and precisely. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us. I'm Beshan. I'm the director for AI Grow Private Limited. And today we want to talk to you about some of our technologies that we are developing in Sri Lanka for various aspects of agriculture. But we want to touch especially on the areas of putting up a greenhouse in your own backyard, might be a restaurant or hotel, or even your rooftop area. So AI Grow has been in the agriculture business for the last 6 years. We are a complete end-to-end vertically integrated company. We design, we build, operate, and maintain greenhouses as well as technologies for our clients. We have multiple clients from various parts of Sri Lanka growing lettuce to bell peppers to different types of chilies or mushrooms and even herbs and micro lettuces and greens as well. So in terms of technology, we have the full spectrum of what you would need to do automated agriculture or protected agriculture, from fertigation systems to climate control to handheld monitoring systems and even for home irrigation as well. So these are all developed in Sri Lanka. So we do maintenance, warranty, spare parts, repairs, and all of that in-house. So you can be very comfortable with investing in some of these technologies. So our scope is really all of what you need to do a greenhouse agriculture project. We provide seeds and fertilizer, we build greenhouse structures, then we add technology to it, and then we open up sales channels even if you need so, through our buyback agreements that we currently cater to our clients. Also, apart from the hardware, we have a complete suite of software to manage your agriculture, your greenhouse. So with our mobile application or the web interface, you can control almost all aspects of your greenhouse from your desk or phone or whatever you're using. So these are some of the products and services that we offer. Greenhouses with various degrees of technology. Some of our clients don't need a lot of technology because their operations are smaller. They want to spend time with the plants and mingle around the greenhouse. So it really depends on how much technology one would need. We kind of gauge the situation, we ask the clients what they want to do, and then we propose the best solution that is possible. So some more pictures of our technology, our mobile application, the web interface, and also some of the other technologies that we provide. The industry sectors that we cater to, so we have rooftop greenhouses where we have a multi-level growing hydroponic racks. We use artificial lighting for some of that. Then we have A-frame structures, which is more cost-effective to do vertical agriculture, especially on a rooftop-like area where you get plenty of sunlight. Then we have large greenhouses in Kegol, Kandy, Batiklo, Homagama, Gaul areas where we work with our customers, our clients to do large lettuce or strawberries or bell peppers, special different kinds of chilies and so on. Then finally, we have our own lettuce brand called Living Lettuce, where we where we use the lettuce from our own greenhouses. We pack them up for the local supermarkets as well as the international markets where we export to. Something else that we are into is also mushrooms. So we have a mushroom house in Rajagiriya in Colombo, as well as a client mushroom house that we built in Batiklo as well. So rooftop greenhouses is something that we specialize in. So you can use almost any space that you have on your rooftop. If you have a open balcony or like a large space where you can put up a greenhouse, this would be ideal for you. Even a backyard or a space near a restaurant, because these are really interesting areas for your clients, your guests, and your customers, and as well as the kids that would come and look at this, because we want to get the awareness out as to how to grow things in a greenhouse and how food is made. So I think a greenhouse is a really awesome way to kind of convey that message. So in this picture, you see the A-frame structure in the far back. So those don't need artificial lighting. It uses sunlight. You can still get about 6 or 7 layers of racks to do various agriculture. On the left-hand side, where you have this big plant coming out, so that is an NFT-based plant. I think this is a cucumber, if I'm not mistaken. Then we do bell peppers also in a similar way. Then the picture on with these multiple racks is the multi-rack system that we have. These use artificial lighting, and you can grow various things from herbs to lettuce to whatnot. We have even grown beetroot at our rooftop greenhouse in Trace Expert City in Maradana. So if you want to come look at, what a rooftop greenhouse is, what you can grow in Colombo, stop by at Maradana at Colombo 10, I believe. It's very close to port area. Where we do lettuce, we have bell peppers, tomatoes, cucumbers, and various other crops. So more pictures of our, artificially lit multi-rack systems. This is our greenhouse at the Trace Expert City in Colombo. It's a good place to look at all the technology and get an idea about what you can do, what you can't do, and get a good feeling as to what the pricing will be to put one of these up and stuff like that. So we are ready to help with anybody who is interested. Some more pictures of the greenhouse at the Trace Expert City. So our products and services are offered at all local supermarkets in Colombo: Keels, Arpico, Spar, Cargill's, and all of the new supermarkets as well, like the Glowmark supermarkets. We export through our third party. We have an online store at aigrow.lk, or you can come to our physical store at Maradana, although with the COVID, we recommend the online option. Then we do turnkey greenhouse projects for people around the country. And we also are doing projects with Maldivian hotel chains to put up greenhouses, to manage them from here, and to give support in terms of how to do packaging and things like that. We have 7 varieties of lettuce: oyster variety mushroom. We have 3 types of basil, 4 types of mint, oregano, rosemary, parsley, coriander, bell pepper. Then we do tomatoes and cucumber as well. You can see some of the pictures that we have. We have this potted herbs that we sell at the local supermarkets, where you get a living herb plant that you can take home and take care of it, so that you can use just the little bit that you need for your cooking, so that you don't waste and you can have fresh herbs right at your fingertips. So that is my presentation. So thank you very much. If anybody is interested to do greenhouses or small operations like this, let us know. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Vishal.
World leaders at the 2012 Conference on Sustainable Development reaffirmed the right of everyone to have access to safe and nutritious food. As the world population continues to grow, much more effort and innovation will be urgently needed in order to sustainably increase agricultural production, decrease food losses and waste. Sri Lanka is a country rich in considerable number of edible and non-edible roots. You can see from my slide, there are so many tubers here, variety of tubers. This important resource is commonly known as yams. Here we say local yams. The traditional knowledge of the cultivation of these roots and tubers passed on from generation to generation. So you can see here, this is Gonala, it's a creeper, and the other one is a Butsaranash plant. These are all from our farm. Still, if you go there, you can see these plants like this. So I just share a former director, Dr. Sanha Parachi's article. She discussed about the ancient glory of local food, the indigenous tuber varieties. They are rich in taste, quality, and nutritious. In her article, she discussed those things, and she discussed about how they gradually becoming distant of local foods, customs, culinary arts like that. The threat, even she discussed the threat of extinction faced by the indigenous tuber varieties and our tendency towards artificial food and therefore related chronic diseases. Here I will share again with the people in this country have eaten variety of yams since prehistoric times. Those days you can find these yams from the forest. Now all the forests are gradually decreasing, so we have to cultivate this. We have to reintroduce these local lambs to our younger generation. So here I share with you nutrition value of the yams. Why we should promote these yams is they have very nutrition value. When you consider this is the research done by the University of Peradeniya Agricultural Faculty. They present in their research paper, let's say in that all the yams consist with moisture content, very high moisture content, protein and carbohydrates. And even all yams, they have fiber content is very much. When we consider with potatoes, here we have freely available in our markets potatoes, but their fiber content is very much low. But when you consider with the local yams, their fiber content is very much high. It is proven by scientifically now. And all yam species rich in potassium, magnesium. If we consider with the macronutrients, iron and zinc. In Sri Lanka, lots of people are suffering from deficiency of iron and zinc. So even this COVID period, people are asking to get the zinc and iron both. So if we can introduce these local yams, they are abundant of iron and zinc in these crops. Here, if we consider health benefits of these yams, they enhance brain function. It says that brain function enhanced because they have the component called dysogenin, which enhance the memory and brain function. And even to ease the symptoms of menopause, you have the cancer fighting properties in this local yam. Even manihot, we are asking to have the cancer patients to get the manihot as their primary diet. And manihots, they are antioxidants in local yams. There are the component called antioxidant. They have anti-cancer effects. So health benefits, inflammation, reduce of inflammation, and improve blood sugar control. When you consider potatoes, they are easily convert into starch, convert into a glucose. But since the local yams, they have more fiber, so it convert into the starch to glucose. It's take long time. It is proven by scientifically. So most of the health benefits are proven scientifically. Some are still to proven. This is all traditional knowledge. They said that these things have a lot of health benefits. So my earnest request to our audience is not to ignore this. This is a God-given crop. Yams is a God-given crop. It is abundant in our country. So without ignoring it, in turn take positive steps to enhance know-how. It is the lack of thing. Know-how is the lack in our country. So we have to enhance the know-how of our younger generation of the nutritious value, health value of local yams. how we can do is we can introduce these local lamps in our restaurants, small hotels, restaurant. We can prepare various kinds of dishes. You can have these yams boiled, fried, even in curries like that, and even you can have the like French fries thing, like you can do the from the local lamps also. So you can introduce in a restaurant. Before that, I request you all to introduce it in your own kitchens. So your children, your younger generation, they will get to know how to use this local lamps. So the knowledge, traditional knowledge, get deteriorated because of the modern mothers. They also don't know how to prepare these local lamps. So we can show you how to prepare if you want. We can show you the ways of preparing this as fries and boiled, cooked, and even roasted. These local lamps you can use as the primary, secondary, or supplementary staple for the human consumption. So for us. And even this is my farm, Gangagad farm. There are pictures from the farm. So we have a variety of local lamps in there. I listed few of them here. So Hingurala, Dandila, like this. Here this is harvesting of manihot. This is a new species called Kirikavadi. And here, this is the Rajala. So we have harvested it in last time, but due to lack of market, we are in loss actually. This is the scene. Now I say what's the specialty of the Gangabada farm I am speaking, because we are on par with the SDG goal number 2. That is, we provide nutritious food for our citizens. So how we do is we protect the liveliness of the soil. How? By not introducing any chemical-based solutions for manure in the soil or to control weeds, funguses, pests like that. So we use ashes for if we get the attack from the funguses, mostly funguses attack to the yam seed. So we use ashes before planting, we use to spread ashes over the plant, over the seed. So likewise, we don't use any pesticides and even we grow yellow color flowers. So most of the pets do not attract to the yellow color flowers. It is said that it is also traditional knowledge. So our farm is, so since I am selling you, so we are doing organic farming to give you assurance. We have a certificate from the Organic Participatory Guarantee. This certificate issued based on the IFOAM norms. IFOAM stands for International Federation of Organic Agriculture Movements. So from the Lanka Good Market GT Limited, team from the Lanka Good Market GT Limited, they personally visit the farm and have the supervision over a period of time and give us the certificate. It is valid only for 1 year. So we have to again get the team and inspect the farm and again renew the certificate. That's how they issue the certificate. Now our farm is going to have the harvest of Gonala, Butsarana, and Siniala in 2 months' time. Now they are closer to harvesting. If you find interest, you can buy these organic yams from our farm itself. Or now, since we have this certificate, we are going to put it in the Good Market and the Good Market shop at Battaramul also. So if you are, I request you to take the interest of buying these things to your kitchen and to your restaurants as well. These yams are cultivated under very if you look at the sustainability things, sustainability means the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. So yams, they need very minimum agricultural input, and even we don't use any chemicals. So we are protecting liveliness of soil for our future generation. We are not depleting the resources at all. Even yams are propagated in a very, if you have a tiny yam piece, there also you can get a creep. Like this, and even we don't use any vapors. So our environment, our farm environment is free from toxin vapors and nothing in our environment. So I just say why you buy, because I shared earlier about the nutrient component and the health benefits. So even now there are trend in our society to buy local foods, local organic foods. So if you can introduce these things in your restaurants, I think you can attract more customers. You can prepare various variety of dishes from this, and even you can prepare milk rice. If you use dandila, you can get a nice color, nice violet color for your milk rice. So I have prepared it, and actually I don't have the photo of it, then I can share it with you. These yams cultivated under less favorable conditions. So with minimum amount of agricultural inputs. Even in a small garden, in your garden, you can have this local yam plant. Since it is a vertical one, you don't need larger space to do it. So I invite you all to have a creep at your own garden, let it grow by itself, and harvest in 6 months' time. You can see the mature crop usually harvest with the signs of yellowing leaves and withered vines. So when we consider about the price, actually the price is comparatively high, because you need, if we do it in a larger scale, you need more labor. See, we are doing everything by humans, so we are not using any insecticides or pesticide, weedicide. So everything we have to done by the human labor. So price is actually bit high. Here we priced last time Rajala is 220, like that. We tried to sell it at the Polar, but it was also failed, since we have been able to solve very few kilos. Last time we have harvested more than 1,000 kilos of Rajala, and Hinguralo also more than 500 kilos. But we are in loss last time. So this time we are targeting to our restaurants and the good market shops also with the certificate. So I think we will be able to get the profit from this time. And this availability with these yams, since the know-how is very low, these yams are not freely available in the market, because customers are not buying these things. They don't know how to prepare these things. Even this one yam is, we can grow it into 2 kilos, 3 kilos, like that, but we are trying to have it in a 1 kilo yam, so rounded one. So you can see, from the next harvest, we are planning to introduce it in good market and it stops at Rajagiriya. And if you are interested, we can supply samples for you to test it at your restaurants, at your kitchen. So I earnestly request you to try out this thing at your restaurants and in your kitchen as well. Thank you.